Hey everyone, welcome to Chasing Moonlight Farm. I'm Renee, and today begins our journey into sharing our homestead with you guys on YouTube. We hope you follow along, and we're going to start today with a garden tour. So let's see what's going on in the garden today. These are our green beans, and oh my gosh, you guys, they have given me such trouble. They have had disease upon disease. I suppose this is some sort of, can you see that? This is some sort of blight, I believe. We have gotten very few green beans off this, probably 20 plants here. I think I want to say 3, maybe 4 gallon bags of green beans off of this, and they won't grow up. They died. I had to cut some off, and now they kind of look like they're making a comeback. We've got some pretty little flowers here, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this space yet as far as pulling them out and replanting. I might pull them out and replant, but we'll see. It seems like they tend to go from tiny beans to really big beans, and they're not very good. So these are rattlesnake pole beans, all of them, which did well for us in the fall, and I thought were going to be my favorite bean ever, and now I'm not so sure. All right, down here we've got some tomatoes, which are hopping. Lots of blushing tomatoes. This one right here is I think this is alpaca, and I've just lost it pretty much. It's all full of blossom end rot, and all the fruit is just not doing well. So I have been applying rot stop is what it's called, and that seems to be working on a lot of the plants, but not that one for some reason. This is a Cherokee purple, and it's got some pretty little blushing ones. Now this year this is our second year gardening, and I have been pulling all the blushing tomatoes this year. So blushing just means they're turning a little bit red, and I let them ripen then in the kitchen on the counter. And it works perfectly, because if I leave them on, see, look at that pretty guy over there. See how that top is split? If I leave that on much longer, it's going to rot before it even turns ripe, or the bugs get it. So these are all Cherokee purple down this row. And it's been a fight. A lot of these had fasciated blossoms on them, which is cat facing. You can look that up. I'll let you look that up. That's fun. So I pulled several of those off this year, but we've gotten some tomatoes. There's more on there ready to pick. So I need to come out, and pick some tomatoes today. Let's just go down this row. I'll show you the watermelon, because this is jamming. We have so many watermelon here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a big one. You see that, guys? Look how beautiful that is. I'm sure that it's probably ready to pick pretty soon. There's a moon and stars. This one back here, these are strawberry watermelon. Now they have a lot of seeds, but they are super good. Super sweet. I really like them. The bees are out in force today. And here's 3 big guys together. These are strawberry. And then that little moon and stars right in the middle. They are so pretty. That's another one of our favorites, is the moon and stars. Back over here. This is another bed. We gave up. This had 3 tomato plants on it. No, 4. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the one that was right here, we pulled because the entire plant was fasciated. Every single tomato, every single blossom, it was a cross. It looked like it had crossed with something. So what I thought I planted there ended up looking like something else. It was really strange. So we pulled that whole plant. These are Romas. I'm not sure if these are the ones I bought from the nursery or I planted from seed. Most everything in this garden is planted from seed. that I started myself, but there was a few things that I thought we were going to lose, so I bought from the nursery. We've got some chocolate cherries growing here. Those look yummy. And then on the end, these are were my son's favorite. They are no longer my son's favorite. Let me find them. Oh yes, look at that bunch. These are blue gold berries, and they are just gorgeous little gems. But this year they don't seem to have a lot of flavor, and my son, who loved them last year, now has a new favorite, and we'll get to that in a second. The front side of this bed was our garlic bed, and it is now a second planting of red potatoes here. I had a bag of organic potatoes that I got from the market that were beginning to sprout, and we weren't using them, so I threw them in right here because, you know, why not? Sorry, I'm eating a tomato. Okay, that's gross. Never mind, I'm not eating a tomato. But I'm not one to waste space, so second planting of potatoes went there. I did have some green beans here. They all died and didn't do well. On this side, this was my garlic bed originally, one of my garlic beds, and I pulled all the garlic end of June, beginning of July, and replanted it with zucchini, which the squash bugs completely ate, so it's resting right now. We do not have luck with with zucchinis at all. And I just threw in some okra because I love okra, mainly as a garden snack because none of my family likes okra. So I just eat it myself in the garden. And this has been the best thing ever, at least to me. No one in the family likes it except for me. But these are ground cherries, which are these wonderful little pods. Let's see if I can get in here and show you one. You don't eat them until they've dropped off the plant, and a lot of them rot, honestly. But inside these sweet, let's see if I can do this with one hand. Inside this sweet little pod are these tiny little yellow fruit, and they almost taste like I can't explain it. They're a little firmer than a tomato, but they're super, super sweet, and that's why they're called ground cherries. They do not have a tomato flavor to me. All my kids say they're gross. I think they're wonderful. So definitely a keeper in the garden, ground cherries. These were the Aunt Molly's variety. Aunt Molly's? Yes, that's right, Aunt Molly's. Over here, sweet potato bed. You guys, if you could have seen this a month and a half ago, you would never believe that this would have survived. I don't know. We filled this whole bed with supposedly was an organic blend of topsoil and compost, I believe, from a local nursery, and it was terrible. It is terrible. So I'm just not counting on getting much out of here but some really pretty vines. And I know you can eat the sweet potato leaves, so we might go that route even, but let's hope I get some potatoes out of there. It's very, very firm. I can't, stress enough. I know this is not a how-to video, but if you look, I mean, this soil is really, really, probably can't tell. I mean, it's really clay-like, and that doesn't make for good soil for potatoes to grow in, I don't think. So we'll see. We'll see what we get out of there. It's really pretty, though. Lots of beauty there. Oh, and this one is my little shining light in the darkness. Of all the green beans that did horribly, I have such high hopes for this. This is my royalty purple pod bush bean bed. And I think the reason they look so green and so good is because this is where my onions were planted, and we fed them nitrogen every 2 weeks or so, and probably weren't supposed to. But we got several good onions, and this whole bed was full of nitrogen. So these little guys had a huge head start. And it's a different dirt. It's a different soil than this. So I think it's doing better. And they are just beautiful. Look at all those flowers. And I do have some beans somewhere. Oh, look at those tiny beans. Tiny baby beans. So I'm excited. They turn purple. They're purple, and then when you cook them, they turn green. So they're a purple green bean. So that's lovely. Over here, this is a hot mess. Yeah, this was a failure. I think I had, what did I have here? I had radishes for spring planting. They did okay. I only got like 20 or 30 radishes. And then I did collards, and they did not do well. So this has been bare, this whole section, except for that sweet little tomato plant that's fallen. This has been bare. You can see our hillbilly T-post here. We've had to prop up this cattle panel with all these tomatoes on it because they were pushing it. They were pulling the cattle panel trellis over. So we had to shove something in there for the time being to prop it up. And more okra. That one's way beyond what it needs to be. When they get this big, it's just, they're kind of gross. And honestly, I can't remember what this variety is. I think it's a Star of David or something like that. And I haven't been impressed with this variety. My favorite so far is the Clemson Spineless, and I can eat those, and they're not all prickly on the outside. This one's really prickly. And this is a huge, huge okra. But I bet it's really good for frying. I just never get enough to fry. So, there it is. Beautiful. And don't they make the prettiest flowers? Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay. I'm going to spin you around real slow here. Another set of purple, royalty purple pod. And I'm trying the rattlesnake pole beans again. And I'm just going to keep trying. And hope they grow and give me more green beans, because of all the crops I grow, we use green beans and tomatoes the most. They look really good though. Everyone's no disease, so that's awesome. Back around here, so here's a humongous cattle panel trellis of, these are indeterminate tomatoes on this side. You might even be able to see them. The wind's blowing today and it's kind of rocking. See that? But they're just beginning to blush. These are mortgage lifters. I get a lot of cracking on the top. I think that's just, I don't know. They're growing too fast is what I heard. And if we water too much, see, that one's kind of yucky. I just don't have, tomatoes are just really hard for me. Now the plants look great. The leaves look great. But I have to pull those tomatoes. See, that one looks a little iffy under there. But they're huge. Look at that thing. So I think all of these are mortgage lifters. And one thing I did wrong this year, and I really need to watch out for next year, is to not plant them so close together and to prune more. I gave up on pruning. They just got out of control so fast. But honestly, I don't know. I've had no disease or anything like that, and they have done really well. On this side, I had zucchini, and again, those got obliterated by squash bugs. I think I got 7, I don't know, something like that, 6 or 7 green zucchinis out of 3 plants. And then I had some yellow squash, and they gave me maybe 3 or 4. I mean, it was just terrible. The vine borers and the squash bugs decimated those. We have on this trellis cucumbers that look horrific. Same thing as the beans. Looks like a lot of disease. I don't know. I gave up trying because I don't know what's wrong with them. I fed them, I watered them. I was really mindful of how much I watered them, but they're still producing. These are the Market More cucumbers. And I'm not real impressed, you guys. They don't taste great. They do okay with pickles. They hold their crunch well. But for fresh eating, I don't like them. I don't like them. So, ooh, I forgot to show you these though. since I don't like empty spaces, I planted more cucumbers. There's a cucumber, and those are cucumber. These are Parisian pickling, and hopefully I'll get some nicer cucumbers out of those. We are in zone 7B, so we have a really long growing season, 240 days or so, so we have a lot of time to grow. Lots of stuff. Okay, another wall of tomatoes. They literally are a wall, and they're like, I want to say 7 feet tall, 6. They're over 6, so it's about close to 7 feet tall. These tomatoes are. This, except for this one, this is a determinate variety. It's a little Roma from a local nursery. These are alpacas. They've done okay this year. Last year they did not do well, but they're doing okay. Again, that looks like I need to pull that one. More alpacas. It's funny, we'll get some that are really tiny, and then we'll get some that are really massive. Like that's as big as my hand. If I can get that leaf out of the way. Can you see that? That's kind of hard to see. There you go. It's huge. And then we got these little bitty ones. All right, so yeah, these alpacas, they're supposed to be a paste tomato, good for making sauces. And the Italian heirlooms are paste tomatoes as well as these tiny little Romas. So cute. All right, behind me here, let's spin around a little. There's, for reference, there's the watermelon plants again, and another wall of tomatoes. Now listen, you guys. We have 10 people in our family. We eat a lot of tomato sauce, and several kids will eat fresh tomatoes, but I don't like tomatoes. Why do I grow so many tomatoes? I have no idea, other than I'm going to preserve a lot, and no one puts me in a corner and tells me I can't grow something. So I will grow anything I can grow. And I love tomatoes. I love seeing them on the vine. There's just something about it. There's something magical about when they turn red. I love it. And I bought a whole bunch from the nursery, because all of these are from a local nursery, because I was just sure the ones I planted from seed were gonna die, and they can't die. So I have to have more tomatoes, right? So I went and bought all of these and planted more tomatoes, and they are doing wonderfully. I have Better Boy, 3 Celebrity, and maybe, let's see, 4 black brandywines. And they're all doing really, really well. Again, now these are determinate, so you're not supposed to prune them. I just let them go wild. They are planted quite close together, but they've done really well. No disease. I think this tarp helps some. Not tarp, the woven weed fabric. And this is from Grower Solution, by the way, and we have loved it. Loved it, loved it. It allows the air to get through. It allows the rain to get through, the water, but it doesn't, the weeds can't get up through it. So I was really careful to water along the bottom and not to get it all over the plant. Excuse me. So I think these plants are doing great. Lots of red ones. Pretty little celebrities. They're beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And it's just been crazy. My kitchen table, there's some back there. My kitchen table's just been full of tomatoes. And then sometimes you just get an oddball. They're so funny. My kitchen table looks like a farm stand, and I'm totally okay with that, because in the summer you just decorate with your produce and it looks beautiful. Ooh, that's a pretty one. I get distracted very easily by pretty things. Okay, behind me is another 4 by 12 foot bed. Another huge wall of tomatoes. These are all determinate. They are not supposed to be pruned. That's not true. That's not true. Let me go back. These are brandywine. They can be pruned. They are indeterminate. I pruned some, and then I left some. And as you can see, it's growing tall above the trellis. And I've got one brandywine on the end, and it's growing tall. And the rest are all determinate. The rest are from seed. They're jet stars. They're doing wonderful. I mean, look, please excuse the giant mass of weeds. Look at that. Someone needs to mow. Okay, see, distracted. Beautiful, beautiful fruit. That's a jet star. They just have been so disease resistant for me. They've been great this year. And it's hot, y'all, hot. 90s and humidity's in the, 70%, 80% humidity. Look at that little jet star. Perfect little tomato. So pretty. Okay, let's zip around. I did have some, I had to pull this. This was all cucumbers as well, and they died. So nothing to see there. Ooh, now we get to some fun stuff. Well, other than this, this overgrown tomato. You know what? It's just wild and crazy, and I'm totally okay with that. You just have to be okay. It's hard for my type A personality, but I'm getting over it, y'all, because it's hot, and I can only do so much. All right. Oh, pretty tomato. All right, so in this bed is all peppers and some basil. Yes, basil, which looks kind of crappy. But these are all red peppers. These are sweet roasting peppers. These are giant Marconi red, and we had these for dinner last night. Wait till they get really red, and then we put them in the oven. We put it in the oven. We stuffed it, well, first we stuffed it with cream cheese and sausage and cheddar cheese and baked it in the oven, and it was delightful. Here, more giant Marconi. These are from the nursery because, again, I thought all my peppers were going to die. This looked absolutely horrendous when I planted it. They went into transplant shock. I was sure every single plant was going to die. They were yellow. And again, it was the soil. I had soil from compost from last year on it. And then I topped it with fresh compost that was supposedly an organic leaf compost. And they just immediately started to look like they were burning. And I don't know. You guys, I cannot win with the soil. But I mended it. I did some nitrogen and phosphorus, and I don't know what else I put on it. Potash. I did potash, and in a few weeks they bounced right back. And so now I have peppers. These are a roasting pepper too. They're Ajvarsky. This one's ready to pick. It's beautiful. These are a little smaller than the Marconi red, but they're pretty. Ooh, I think that's supposed to be a Marconi red. An Ajvarsky. And it turned purple. See, I don't know what that's about. Maybe it needs some more nitrogen, maybe? I don't know. Because that's definitely a Marconi. Why do I keep saying that? It's definitely a Ajvarsky plant. See? Figure that out later. Carry those in. Here, let's just put those right there. Poor little basil. Last year my basil was so pretty in the same bed, and this year it's just terrible. I even trimmed it and took some in to dry. And look, what's this bacterial stuff on it? Ugh, all these little brown spotted leaves. Still pretty. Still certainly smells good. Smells like spaghetti sauce. That's what I tell my kids. Pretty. Oh, I forgot these. These are just your random jalapenos. No, these are banana. These didn't produce very much. This was something I started from seed, a banana pepper plant, and it hasn't done great. More jalapenos. And these are supposed to be Craig's Grande, and they certainly aren't very grande. I have made a salsa with them, and they are just not hot, which is fine. I'm not going to complain. They're not very hot, but I try to pick them in the heat of the day. I try not to water them too much, and they're just not that hot. So I don't know. I guess that's good for if we don't like hot stuff, but I don't know. One thing I've learned about gardening, let me just jump back here a minute, is everything they say about anything, whether it's a jalapeno or a certain type of tomato, a basil, whatever they say or however they say it's supposed to grow, you can guarantee here on my farm, it's not going to grow that way. It's going to fight me. It's going to argue with me. It's going to try to die. And I literally have to beat myself in the head to keep it alive. And that's okay. I'm learning so much, and that's part of it, growing a gardener, right? Next bed, look at this beauty. Oh my goodness. Can you see that gorgeous fruit? Look at that. That is a beautiful sun gold, oh, cherry tomato. Ah, beautiful. They actually get more orange than that. That one just fell off in my hand. But these are the favorite. These are super, super sweet. My kids love them. Well, most of my kids, I should say, love them. My chickens love them. They are just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, and prolific. Oh my word, indeterminate plant, reaching for the sky. It's just a massive, massive bush. I think I've got one. I have 1, 2, 3 of these planted right beside each other. And they are glorious. They are just glorious. We have eaten so much off of this. And again, no disease. These have done really, really well. Some split, like this one, you can see it's kind of, whoop. Okay. Some split, but usually they're holding up very, very well. They don't split right away. Now down here I have 2, I believe look at you little pest. That's a leaf-footed bug, and they stick their little sticker things in the fruit and they suck all the juice out. Go away, little devils. These 2 big plants are Kentucky beefsteak, and I have gotten 0 tomatoes off this plant, these 2 plants. Now it looks like I've got some big ones on here. Again, I probably would have done better to prune these. This one's a good size and it looks healthy. Some are fasciated. There's another one, a good size. Little, it's not blossom end rot, but it looks a little damaged on the bottom. But good size. They just they're turning really, really slow, or they're rotting on the vine. There's another Kentucky beefsteak. I don't know, again, these are ones I started from seed and I was sure they were gonna die, and they haven't, so we're hanging in there, giving them their best life. That's how this works, you know. All right, on to the next bed. This is kind of a mirror image of the other one. Lots of peppers, lots of peppers. We honestly don't eat a lot of peppers, but these little gems, these are orange blaze, I believe. Yes, these are orange blaze, and my son absolutely loves these. So he eats these fresh. What is that? Oh my gosh, I think that's a random cucamelon. I didn't plant cucamelons this year, but this is the bed the cucamelons were in last year. Oh, that's funny. I don't see any cucamelons. Here's some regular bells. I think these are Revolution from my local nursery. Oh, we lost a baby. We lost a baby and it turned red. That one feels a little, I don't know if it's rotten or not. I always hate it when they fall off before I get to it, because sometimes they're rotten or they rot quickly. It's pretty. Look at that. We'll save that one too. So Revolution bell peppers, that one's turning a little red. Oh, and this just screams Thanksgiving. This is my sage, my broadleaf sage. I did not start this from seed this year. I bought these plants from Azure Standard, and they smell wonderful. They just smell so good. I need to get some of those in to dry. Now these guys, these are more Revolution green bell peppers. These are supposedly Emerald Giant, and look at that, they're turning red. And they're not getting giant, they're little dwarf peppers. See, all I heard was, these are gonna be giant peppers. Nope. They're squatty and fat and all drawn in the bottom. And I'm sure it's some deficiency I don't know about. But we'll eat it. Sit you there together, little friend. It's a learning. It's just everything is a learning. A chance to learn. These are more emerald giants, and they're just little squatty things. I don't know what's happened. More emerald giants. This little plant is not doing well. Oh, except it gave me a pure red pepper. That is too funny. That is supposed to be, I missed it somehow. See? Tiny, tiny little thing. Certainly not an emerald giant, but it's a pepper and it's beautiful, so we'll eat that one too. That one there. Of course, my marigolds. I have to have something pretty in the garden, something flowering. I think that's one thing I'm really learning this year is I need a lot more pretty, because every time I look out my window, all I see is green. Here, let's throw these to the chicken. Sidebar. Is I need a lot more color. Like I think next year I'm going to plant these up here or somewhere in the front, because they just, look at that. They're just everywhere. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Last bed in the front. Last raised bed. These are large red cherry from, I think I got these from Eden Brothers. No, that's not right. Where did I get these from? I can't remember. They're your typical large red cherry. They were really slow to produce, really, really slow. They taste like a tomato. They're not super sweet. They're kind of, you know what, compared to the sun gold, I mean, I took a bite out of it, but you can see the size difference. They're not even a sweet tomato compared to the sun gold. So I'm not sure I'll grow the red cherry. Oh, and this one, this has been my favorite to grow, although they're splitting and cracking because who knows why, honestly. But they're so pretty. These are called Blue Beauties. They're an indeterminate variety, an heirloom variety. They are taking forever to blush. But as you can see, I've got a lot of pretty ones on here. I think I got these from Baker Creek. If not, someone correct me on that. Maybe Haas Tools. Those two tend to be the ones. Oh, look at those through there. Can I get y'all through there so you can see? Can you see those? Oh, no, that was my hand. Never mind. There they are. Wait. There they are. Aren't those beautiful? I love them. They're so pretty. They have those purple shoulders and then they turn red on the bottom. It's a nice big one. So, so pretty. I need to get out and harvest some tomatoes. This is exciting. Now around here, in the spring I had sweet peas here. I had the melting sugar peas that grew up the trellis here, and they did so well. I basically snacked on those. None of the other kids, there's a few kids that like them, but I left them on the vine and I just came out and ate them. I mean, it was great. I loved it. Now I've got a couple melons growing here. These are little, what are these? They're a little muskmelon. I can't remember what they're called at the moment. They're a little muskmelon I'm going to try to grow. This was my carrot space, and it was like half the size I needed it to be because we ran out of carrots pretty quickly. But I had some carrots here. I had Danvers, the Danvers 126, and I had Atomic Red, and they both did really well. And we ate carrots for several weeks. Oh, and look, more peppers. Because I thought mine were gonna die, y'all. I had to do something. I had to buy more just in case. I always have to have a backup pepper. So these are gourmet orange, another orange pepper, hopefully. There was one that had a little baby on it. There he is. He's kind of big now. So hopefully he'll turn orange soon. And then just some flowers. Bee's friend that's getting smothered by the tomatoes. My bee's friend under there, and more marigolds. So this is my last in-ground bed, or I'm sorry, raised bed. Like I said, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get my arm out of the way. About 9, 10 of those. And you can grow a lot of food in that space. Okay, behind me here, this year I decided to do a little shallow bed of just herbs. And again, it was that crappy soil. And they didn't do well. And I fed and I fed. And finally, my basils was looking a little better. And now I see it's yellowing again. My oregano went straight to flowering. I don't know why. Thyme, I have already picked some and am drying that. This I'm just leaving because it's pretty. This is, what are you? I think this is oh my goodness. My brain just quit working. I can't remember what it is. Where's the tag? Where's the tag? I want to say Thai basil. That's not right. Holy basil? Thai basil? Yeah, this might be holy basil right here. I'm not sure. Rosemary and rosemary. Some lovely, this is lavender. Hasn't produced any flowers yet. More basil. This is a lemon thyme, which, the variegation is so pretty. Can you see that? I don't know. Beautiful. This is lemon basil. I cut all the flowers off of it last night. It smells yummy. I'm just not sure what to cook with it, cook with it. But it smells delightful. Very, very pretty. So that's my little herb bed. And over here I have a small section. I decided to try my hand at strawberries this year. So let's start down here. Successes. The strawberries produce strawberries. The first year. These guys sat in my refrigerator for 3 weeks because we thought we were moving. And somehow they made it. And they produced some strawberries. Not very many. Just a few. And these are ever-bearing. As you can see, they're producing some more blossoms and some more fruit right now. But look at the weeds. They come right up the holes. We have vicious weeds here, I tell you guys, in Southeast Virginia. This one's doing fine. That one's doing fine. This poor thing. 1, 2, 3. This is honey nut. This has been abused by the squash bugs. I finally broke down and bought some pyrethrin, and I sprayed it 3 times already. But I bet the vine borers, they'll look, see, there's another bug. Oh, I hate you. They just eat it up. I have 0 luck with any kind of squash on my property. And right there, the glory in the middle, a sunflower. Because why not? Why not plant beautiful things? Okay, last bed, you guys. Sorry, this video is really long. Last bed. This is potatoes. Our first year growing potatoes. These are supposed to be russet potatoes. And they look pretty hideous. I've been introduced to Colorado potato bugs this year. I didn't really want to be introduced to Colorado potato bugs. I could have done without the Colorado potato bugs. Look at that. Yep, they stripped that one. So I've been out here spraying, it's Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew, and it does work. I just didn't catch it in time. They have grown super slow the entire time. See, these are so tiny. I doubt if anything's under there. You guys, these have been in since end of April. End of May. June, July. No, end of April. And they are not doing well at all. But it's the same soil. Compost we had trouble with over in the pepper bed. And these have just not popped back. We have fed them multiple times with kelp, watered down kelp fertilizer. We've sprayed them or powdered them with wait, hang on, give me a second. Bone meal. No, yes. I've sprinkled bone meal when we planted, and I sprinkled bone meal again. and they just look like crap. So I have a feeling these are all going to be failures this year, but that's okay. You know what? I'm learning about the soil, the soil choices around me, and that they're not very good, and that's okay. Now this next bed is way back in our backyard, and I didn't show you the whole backyard. There it is, but there's an air conditioning unit right there, and it is very, very loud. So we're gonna ignore that part of the yard and come right straight to this back section. We just started this the 1st of July, you guys. Can you guess? Can you guess what these are? These are pumpkins, all kinds of pumpkins. I have, what do I have here? I have Jardale pumpkins, I have Connecticut field pumpkins, I have gourds, just the smaller ones on the back, pie pumpkins, so that they can go that way and up the fence if they want. Those smaller ones. As you can see, I'm already dealing, it looks like, with powdery mildew. Although that might be variegation. Let's see. Does it wipe off? Well, I can scrape it off. Yeah, that's powdery mildew. Mildew. That's powdery mildew. So we'll need to take care of that. I have some copper fungicide that I think I can use on those. But you guys, this was just planted the 1st of July, and look at this. They are absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. We did them in hills. This is straight in the ground. My husband just tilled it up. We pulled as many weeds as we could. We're mulching with straw, and we're hoping by October 15th, middle of October, even the end of October, it would be just fine for pumpkins, because last year I was stupid and I planted pumpkins in June, and guess what? I had pumpkins in August, and who needs pumpkins in August? Not me. I'm still pulling tomatoes and cucumbers in August. Long growing seasons are the best, aren't they? Look at those beautiful, beautiful plants. So excited about the pumpkins. So that's it, guys. Thank you for stopping by Chasing Moonlight Farm. We're so happy that you did, and we hope you'll stick around and check out what else is going on our farm, because this week coming up, we're getting baby chicks. And how in the world do you raise meat birds in your backyard? I'll show you how. So check that out. Thanks again. Bye.